is real TV.
Have you ever done cat?
So actually, in the north, or certain parts of the north, the word ket is slang for, like, snacks or, like, junk food. So there's been many times in my life where my friends have been around and we've gone to, like, the shop round the corner to get some snacks, and I'll come back and my mum will be like, "Oh, have you been getting some ket?"
I've done a lot of cat today. Cheese straws, chocolate digestives. Do you know that one time in the first year of our drama course, we had to bring into class something that meant a lot to us. And a lot of people brought things like a picture of their mum or like their teddy they had since they were born. And I brought a packet of cheese straws. And we had to do a performance based around the item. And I just sang, "I live for the cheese straws, cheese straws, cheese straws."
Ugh, I probably brought something really cringe. It might not be correct, but I'm pretty sure I brought a Lana Del Rey album. When Lana Del Rey said she was born to die, that's when I came to life. I was born in a dark paradise.
I was born in the dark. Hello, babe.
I am drinking the well, it's quite a strange concoction. We've got some orphan's fingernails. There's a hint of Tears of a Drag Queen. There is Ben de la Crème's Shock Elimination from All Stars 3, and just a hint of cinnamon. I call it robbed. Freddie, what are you drinking this evening?
This evening, I'm having a nice, big glass of water with very dark red food dye in it. They'll never know.
They'll never know that you drink a bottle of wine throughout the entire recording of each episode. Well, they know now.
Look, even the bottle is Halloween themed. Look at this chap. He's a skeleton playing the guitar.
Oh my god, that gives me very undead Mexican London cider vibes.
And with that, welcome to the Dragula special. Dum, 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 drag, horror, filth, glamour, Dragula, Dragula.
Sorry, let me just wipe the tears away from my face. Nothing makes me more emotional than a Dragula theme tune.
Do you know what the ultimate goal is? For us to have the Boulet brothers as guests on this, but also for us to blend in so excellently with them that they forget who each other are and we forget who each other are, and it's just these four creepy drag queens.
Losing the beard would hurt me a bit, but hey, the sacrifices one makes for their art. Although there are definitely some queens on this episode who made few sacrifices, I would argue.
Oh! Is Jake Yonsei here?
Expose her.
I just love that we're about to shoot the shit on all these incredible world-class makeup artists, and I'm sitting here with this shitty, like, Halloween eyeliner that's, like, half smudged, like, poorly applied, closer to my eyebrows than my eyes, and we're going to sit here with arms folded and say what we're going to say.
So would you argue you're the Louisiana Purchase of the season? I actually think she's really good, but the thing is, before we get into this, you know the little disclaimer that the Boulets have where they're like, everything we say, you know, art is subjective, we're just referring to how you performed in regards to the challenge. Yeah, we'll say we're doing the same, but I don't know what the challenge is.
The challenge is critiquing art without saying something that could be taken as trolling later down the line.
tea. Obviously, this evening we're talking about Dragula Resurrection, the lovely Halloween special, which just aired on Shudder. We're not sponsored, but hey, if they want to slip a few bills my way or just pay for my subscription, calm. I could talk about Shudder till the cows come home. So, Freddie, this evening, I think we should embrace the drag Halloween personas inside of us. So I'd like to ask you, who are you dressed up as this evening?
Tonight I have come as Electric Cher.
Electric Cher. Oh, that's good actually. That was good.
It was either that or Helly Clarkson or Mad Donna.
I like Madonna because it's simple but it's funny. I mean, you haven't asked me, but I'm going to tell you anyway. My drag persona this evening is an undead, cross-dressing archaeologist, Dragulara Croft. Is there anyone who you thought should have been on Resurrection but wasn't?
I definitely think Abora would have been a great one just because she is so distinctive, but not to a degree that she's boxed into one particular thing. She's her own person and very individual, but it would have been so exciting to see how she would have tackled the three looks. I would have loved to have seen her on there.
For me, I would have loved Yovska. I'm obsessed with Yovska, and I think she has a style of drag that's like... I just love it, and she gets challenged in like the first ever season 1. They're like, but can you paint your face? And I'm like, why does it matter? Do you know what I mean? Like, Yovska's an alien. So there's this interview with the Boulet brothers about Resurrection, and the interviewer mishears them because he asks them how many contestants they're going to be, and they say, oh, there's going to be 7. But the interviewer thought they said 7.5. And he was like, well, it wouldn't be beyond the Boulet brothers to just bring some limbs back, or just bring someone's, like, half of someone's body. And then the Boulets are like, yes, we're just bringing back Madeline Hatter's head.
Oh, I love them so much. They're so reasonable, though. Like, the most obvious comparison to them is RuPaul, but it's so interesting that they are the spooky, scary ones. Yet,
more beautiful.
When it comes
Not
to...
more beautiful, that's unfair. More haute couture fashion glamour, I think.
Yes, I agree with that. But what I was going to say was that, like, their front is so much harder than RuPaul's. Yet in practice, they seem a lot more reasonable and generous and kind to the contestants.
I think it's because the Boulets have like stayed in the nightlife world, and they are very much within the community. RuPaul's goal was to become the world's biggest drag queen, and by being that is now the only drag queen known to many people. Whereas the Boulets are very like... Does that make sense? Like, the Boulets have been doing Dragula contests way before Dragula.
Yeah, didn't Valentina win one of them?
Yes. Which...
Hilariously.
Valentina, I think, would do well on anything, though.
It blows my mind, though, to this day, that she's never been in a final of Drag Race. Not in her series, not in her All-Star series. She feels like quintessential contestant, a god-tier contestant to many, both in terms of iconic moments, but also, I think, in terms of talent, too. I am just gobsmacked that she's never actually made it to the end.
Do you know who I think would absolutely slay on Dragula?
Go.
Nina Bonina Brown.
Nina Bonina Brown, talking of people coming back, Nina Bonina Brown is my top pick for an All-Stars Drag Race. I love her so much. So, yeah, I'd love to see her on Dragula.
Have you heard the hot tea about Dragula Season 4?
What's the tea?
Supposedly, Yuha Hamasaki is going to be on it.
Oh, I'm up for that.
And I actually...
That would be great.
But what gets me about that is... I think I can see the horror influence in her drag. She's very sort of Coraline in her like lashes, but she went home in an acting challenge because she didn't look ugly enough. So
yeah, but you do get some on Dragula that are a little too pretty, in my opinion. They go a bit glamour.
But it is glamour as well. Like Elvira is beautiful. She's not scary, but she is the queen of horror.
I guess so.
You know, besides, you know,
You.
Dragula Croft. No, I loved Resurrection, and do you know what? Absolutely, sent me to Paranormal Activity 6: The Ghost Dimension, which, by the way, a terrible film. Like, actually, maybe the worst horror film I've ever seen in my life.
But you know, I'm going to stand up and say something here. Paranormal Activity gets shat on, right? But it's a bit of fun.
Actually, no. I will not disagree.
I haven't seen that one. I'm sure it's quite exhausting by a sixth film.
But back onto Dragula, the interludes between each of the themes, the Boulet brothers as those sort of most B-roll videotape footage, them as the two ghosts, absolutely grabbed my wig, sent it to Iceland, set it on fire, and it has caused global warming.
I thought their best outfit of the episode was the one where they were judging. The hair helmet hat wig thing.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with it, and there was just something really satisfying about it, visually satisfying. You just wanted to, like, I don't know, feel it.
Ooh.
I loved it. It's an amazing show, and so many of the people that I talk, like, in a lot of depth with about Drag Race don't know Dragula, and I think there's elements of Dragula that they would really love, and so, you know, think of this as your portal into the world of Dragula if you're intrigued.
I'm gonna say something controversial. I don't think it is controversial. I think it's a fact. Every single floor show, which is the runway of Dragula, every single floor show of Dragula, in one episode, any season, pick any season at random of Dragula, there are at least 2 looks minimum on every drag show, which if either of those looks were shown on a season of Drag Race, it would be the best runway of the season, hands down facts.
I agree completely.
The bar for Dragula is, despite its questionable budget, is so high.
And questionable structure. It's questionable episode structure. There were times last night where I was on the edge of my seat, enthralled by Dragula Resurrection. But then there were other times where I was very bored, to tell you the truth. And
I don't think Frankie Doom's that bad.
I loved Frankie Doom. I loved Frankie Doom. But, like, there is too much chit-chat.
It's not got that, you know, shady rattlesnake Drag Race vibe.
Yeah, and I think the lack of kind of interaction with the judges and the lack of kind of mini challenges, although they do have the extermination challenges, which are quite wild a lot of the time. It's such a brilliant show with such potential and such remarkably talented contestants. That is its number one selling point, is that the contestants' skill with makeup, special effects, set, concept is just astonishing. But I do think other elements of it leave a lot to be desired.
Honestly, it's if it was a song, it would be a bop. If Dragula was a song, it'd be a Kim Petras song, bop after bop after bop. Who was featured in it? I'm trying to make a link here. Oh my god, what was my other drag name that I sent you?
Oh, I can't remember.
It was something with Henny. Oh my god, Stacey Lane Matthews. Stacey Lane Matthews hiding in a sewer grate, Henny Wise.
Oh my god.
No, I feel like all I'm gonna say all night was like, I really enjoyed Dragula. I thought it was a great night, but it's long. Dragula Resurrection's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours long.
What they have there is an hour of god tier reality TV, supplemented and bulked out with some cheap meat. Basically, my complaint is there was too much of them kicking about in lockdown at home, talking about themselves.
Mentally, before today, I was like, maybe you shouldn't just talk about Drag Race throughout the whole Dragula episode.
But it's such an easy side by side. I think a lot of the people to compare it with Drag Race it's almost like a gateway into it.
It's ketamine, if you will. No. Dragula is ketamine. Drag Race is poppers. Like,
Drag Race is cheese straws.
it's not funny. No. What I was gonna say was, and obviously I know that like we've been in these unforeseeable times for longer now, but compare Dragula Resurrection's production value to the production value of the season 12 finale of Drag Race. Season 12 of Drag Race was, let's be real, a Zoom fucking web show, and Dragula Resurrection was a strange mix between MTV Cribs, some sort of Louis Theroux meets drag queens in the Bible Belt, and an incredible America's Next Top Model music video challenge featuring the musical stylings of Kimberly Petras.
It was an absolute spectacle and
a spooktacle.
Remarkably impressive. A spooktacle. and it was so impressive. The floor shows of the episode, the Resurrection episode, were just amazing. And I do think, we've talked about how high the standard was on standard episodes of Dragula, but I think the standard was cranked up again with this because they had the freedom to have the innovation they had with their costumes with a sense of setting. I was absolutely gobsmacked by it. I was gobsmacked at the thought that what we were watching was put together by like teams of 2, 1 in some cases, I'm sure.
Victoria Black made a morgue in her garage.
I'm going to say something here.
Okay.
I'm going to go in for the kill.
They're already dead. Did you not watch the end of the special?
Victoria Black should have won.
No,
in my opinion.
I disagree.
I believe very strongly that Victoria Black should have won, and if not, then Frankie Doom should have won.
Oh my god, the taste did not jump out this evening.
And I honestly felt like this was not it's a matter of opinion, Gigi Good not winning Series 12. This was a Jan not winning the Rusical, to me, was the fact that Victoria Black didn't win this.
No, because, and I completely agree with the Boulet brothers' critique, that I was incredibly enthralled by her ghost look, the like zombie bugs crawling over in morgue.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that did not read ghost in any sense.
Oh, who cares?
Do you know? No, it's the theme, it's the challenge, it's the show. Don't say who cares. Don't give me that slander. Yeah, sip your wine.
It's water, Aidan.
Fuck off, is it water? Water hasn't touched your lips since fucking Hurricane Katrina. That was such a strange... I don't know where that came from.
That's going to be my drag name.
Hurricane Katrina. I'll be Hurricane Tortilla. No, I don't think Victoria Elizabeth Black should have won. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Who do you think should have won?
To be honest, Saint. I think... Well, okay. So... Saint's first look... I want to critique it, but I can't remember it. So clearly, it wasn't.
Exactly.
But
it was like silver. It was nothingy. It read Drag Race to me more than Dragula.
The wire going around my face and like butterflies. Yeah. Okay. I'm not okay. Saint fair, right? But Saint's ghost look, it was so simple but so strong, and I also loved the. To be honest, the pure... I don't want to say the balls, because that's a bit... But the braveness, the bravidity,
Yeah.
the g- for some reason we only
The guts.
the guts, the gorm, the glamour, of really going for a symbol context of sheet ghost and making it. I can still see it in my head when I close my eyes.
I can see it too, but I didn't. That wasn't my favourite from her. My favourite was the vampire.
And I think her vampire is the only vampire that Victoria Black's vampire I liked. It was very regal. It was very fun.
Frankie Dooms was my favourite vampire.
Can't remember Frankie Dooms. Oh, the like creature.
The bat kind of.
No, right. This
thing.
is my critique with Frankie Doom. Face, prosthetics, brilliant. Outfit, basic.
I mean, I loved Victoria Black's because I loved everything she did, and that was the one with the snake and the different colour eyes.
Oh no, I did like that.
Oh, and I also obviously loved Frankie Dooms because I loved the homage to Roald Dahl. I thought it was really accurate. I thought it was great.
I think terribly executed was the issue. I think it was a good look.
Really?
Yeah, because he just instantly revealed the mask and I think the presentation of it was sloppy, but the look was strong. But that's not. Do you know what I mean? It's not a photo shoot. It's a performance. So for me, it was. None of them were bad because they're all so brilliant. There are no filler queens in Dragula.
Yeah, that's very true.
So,
I've got a question for you, Aidan.
Okay.
Imagining your drag toolkit is strong. This is a question of concept. For the witch challenge, and I'll ask you this for everyone.
Okay.
For the witch challenge, what would your concept have been? What would you have wanted to put together?
Oh, okay. I would have done. Think Melisandre, Game of Thrones, when she takes off her amulet. A24 film The Witch. And also Portrait of a Lady on Fire. They're not witches, but there's some sort of three women, which I think's really cool. So I would do beautiful, elegant, yet elderly, nude woman. Very Tilda Swinton vibes. And I would have very beautiful, glamorous, subdued makeup. Very gaunt, very drawn back, pale. And I would then pull off my skin to reveal this decrepit, elderly, like ancient creature, and because I'd be naked, right? So it would be a prosthetic vagina. I would pull that off and reveal, me.
The bits.
The bits.
The bits and pieces.
The meat and two sausages. What's it? Meat and two veg. Meat and two veg. Meat and two sausages. I don't have two sausages, don't worry.
Meat and two sausages.
That's what we should have called our podcast.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you. What would yours be?
Mine would also be a reveal of something tempting into a witch-like figure, but mine would be the opposite kind of tempting. I would want to do something quite like Hansel and Gretel style.
Okay.
Like an old grandmother or something who's got like a bag of cookies. I guess the joy of maybe being a slightly plump older woman. I'm picturing the woman at the end of the Tenacious D tribute video whose eyes go red.
Yeah, got you.
And I feel like that would give me a lot of breadth for quite an interesting reveal. Maybe something to do with gluttony. Maybe she like rips her fat stomach open and it's just full of like yellow fat that just pours out.
No. Don't make it disgusting. No. Catch these hands. We'll make it disgusting, but not yellow fat.
I think initially creepy. Initially, like there's something off maybe about her eyes at first, and she's got like this bag, and she's kind of tempting you in, and she's just mildly creepy. But then there's just an absolute
but I think more interesting
the hairnet and everything
than pulling out, revealing the stomach. And revealing like fat, I think if you pulled it open, and obviously still have that bodily fluid sort of going on, but rather than it just being that, it's loads and loads of sweets.
Oh my god. And then she smiles and her teeth are rotten.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, we'd win. I guess we'd win.
We'd be the two contestants that are better than anyone on Drag Race. Do you know, it looks like if there's a dead person in my bed.
Happy Halloween.
I'll just turn my camera around. Because it's like a pillow that I just haven't moved.
If it's a pillow, why is it breathing?
Aidan, this was my, get out of jail. Acknowledge it at least, but then...
This was your alibi?
My alibi.
I've just understood a joke that I should have got a long time ago. It's not a Dragula joke.
Was it U-G-L-Y? I ain't got no alibi, you ugly. You ugly. Like the meaning of that. Is it the Bradley Cooper song from A Star Is Born? I don't lie without an alibi.
Do you have anything else?
Skeleton playing the fiddle. Now you've seen it all, Aidan.
Now you've seen it all. Now I have indeed.
What would you do for your ghost look?
Oh, my ghost look. Funnily enough, because I think, without taking into account Saint's look, I probably would have done a sheet ghost in some sort of way. Because I think it's quite cool. Ever since the TikTok kids have been doing those ghost photo shoots. I've wanted to jump on the trend. You not seen it? It's where loads of teenagers.
Ghost photo shoot? Teenagers? Ugh, they scare the living shit out of me.
It's this TikTok trend where people dress up as sheet ghosts and take these arty photos.
Speaking of paranormal activity, my favourite scare in female activity in paranormal activity is when there's the sheet ghost in Paranormal Activity 3.
Oh, and it drops them as nothing.
When the babysitter's there, and it drops them as nothing there. I think that is fucking so clever. The way it pans.
Yeah, the panning camera is very clever.
I think it's so clever. Guys, I know it's not an Oscar winner, but hey, for a little Halloween laugh with your mates, it's perfect.
But for something that was an indie, low-budget flick originally, Paranormal Activity, the first movie, it revitalised the horror genre. Because up to that point, we were stuck in this weird torture porn phase, where every big horror film was like...
Well, like Saw and all that.
Yeah, which I do like the Saw films, but...
Do you know, I watched the first one, I found it was an absolute slog. I really couldn't get through it.
I think the first one's a really good film. I think the second and third hold up, and then after that I think it goes to shit, but the first three are solid in my mind. Although Saw 4, or is it Saw 5? One of those is maybe the biggest piece of trash I've seen in my life. But Saw 1, 2 and 3, fuck with those. Fuck with those quite heavily. Sorry, what would your ghost be? Did you say? Oh my god, I have one. Okay. Maybe this wouldn't go down too well with the Boulets, but maybe it would, because I think they have quite a good sense of humour. I wouldn't go as a ghost. I'd go as a huge mobile phone. And my screen, which would be, I'm in a box, right? And my screen is a mobile phone screen, and there's loads of received messages, and they've all been left on red. Ghosting.
That is so silly, Aidan.
There's always space for some camp, you know?
I love that. They'd be like... I don't know what they say. You'd get Victoria blacked, I think. For that.
They'd be like... All drag is valid and art is subjective.
Whilst they're all lined up, all these ghosts, and you're just this huge phone.
However, there is always an exception to rule. Dragula Croft, No, but imagine me like as a mobile in the extermination, and when I die, like afterwards, and the boules come for me in the scene where they kill me, they just pick me up and drop me in a toilet, and the phone just goes out. I also would like to say, very briefly, that the Boulay brothers could do Drag Race, but RuPaul could not do Dragula.
Exactly right. I was like, imagine a wife swap, but it's one of the Boulets swaps with RuPaul. Imagine RuPaul talking to the Dragula contestants about their inner saboteurs.
And they'd be like, well, clearly it's one. London Cider's like drilling into his arm, and he's like, yeah, no shit. And also,
and RuPaul, how are you going to make me laugh?
And there's just Ava Destruction stood there like, well, I am a clown. I think as well, like, let's point out the Eureka O'Hara in the room.
Of the season, perhaps.
RuPaul.
The Elephant Queen in the room.
Like, that was the joke. That was the joke.
Sorry. Imagine when they're doing the floor show, like if RuPaul was making all the puns. I really want those two worlds to collide in a big way. Give us the crossover episode, please.
And also, nothing would please me more than Pheromone walking into the Dracula castle.
Do you happen to know I'm Over You by Martine McCutcheon?
No.
You could have some other people some other time, but that won't stop my heart, man, 'cause it's sad, but it's true. I'm a bit obsessed with it, and I'd not encountered it previously.
Is that your song of the week?
But it's definitely my song of the week. I want my song of the week to be the Kim Petras song that they lip sync to on Dragula, but I think that lip sync would have been even funnier if it had been I'm Over You by Martine McCutcheon.
Kim Petras, I mean, I was going to say the same thing. I was like, Kim Petras is...
That was a good choice. That was a killer choice.
She has a Halloween EP, what a queen. I would say my song of the week has been by Girly. At first I was unsure.
It's very good.
But now I really vibe with it. But yeah, I've really been vibing to Girly as always. I've seen her live like 5 times. It's kind of like
I can't believe she's from my hometown.
She is from Norwich, isn't she?
Because I told Rory about it. Yeah, I told my brother about it. I was playing him some, and he was like, "Why are you treating this like you're teaching me something?" He was like, "I've seen Girly in a crowd of like 100 people, Fred. Nice try."
I too have seen Girly in a crowd of maybe less than 100 people, so I think Rory should like sit down. I've been front row at Girly 3 times? Twice.
Do you know what makes me sound like such a tragic 24-year-old white boy that lives in a small city?
Most things that you say. Oh, sorry. Ooh.
I've been front row at the Killers 3 times. That's tragic, white boy from a small city. That's a small man in a big world. Brag.
I was deeping something the other day, and it sent me a bit... Oh, this sounds really stupid, but it sent me a bit west. So, some stadiums that artists used to play in hold like 50,000 people, right? I'm not making that up. Like, that's a real number. Obviously, it's a real number.
That's a real number.
So, some people during a world tour, Gaga, Beyonce, Ariana Grande,
yeah,
have performed on one singular tour to millions of people.
Yeah.
And
I was watching a video the other day about the highest grossing tours ever.
yeah, who's top?
Top is U2, 360-degree tour.
I was about to say about you too.
I'll gotta say, I think U2 are kind of funny aesthetically, but I find their music pretty great.
I definitely
like
think
them.
that old stuff is quite good. Not in like a indie like fucking cringe way. Like I do think that old stuff is quite good. But I was reading some post by a person who worked in the Apple Store the day that everyone found a U2 album on their iTunes that couldn't be deleted. And apparently like can you imagine like Karen just coming in force, like, you get this U2 album off my phone and you physically cannot do it.
Do you know what's so tragic though? I quite liked that album. Didn't love it, but you know, I would have, back in the iTunes days, I would have bought it in the iTunes sale for £3, I reckon.
No, it's not for me.
U2 are top. I think Rolling Stones are second.
Bono.
Dragula. Maybe I'd dress up as Bono as a bottom for the Ghost Challenge.
No, Bono's versatile.
Maybe the Edge.
Oh, Edge is a pole bottom.
The Edge of Glory hole. So I watched one which was just female tours, and the top two are both Madonna tours. I need to see that woman, because on her last tour she sustained so many injuries that I don't think she's going to tour like she did again. And I'm very much not aware of the fact that to see Madonna properly, with dancing and production and everything, in terms of her body, what she can do, I'm aware that the clock is ticking. And I think she'll be alive.
I don't know, man. You say the clock is ticking, but you forget one special fact about Madonna. Time goes by so slowly.
So slowly. For those who wait, no time to hesitate. I've got to get those tickets.
What's the most expensive concert you've paid? Like, don't include festivals, obviously. Like, what's the most, like...
Not including festivals, £108, and it wasn't worth it in my opinion for Adele.
Oh, okay.
I love Adele. Very excited that she's back
I'm
in the swing of things.
Myself.
Jesus Christ. But I do not think for nosebleed tickets in the O2 for a night of power ballads, I don't think that was worth it. And unfortunately, I had seen a couple of weeks before Adele, I'd seen a poor man's Adele, Emily Sandé at the O2.
Probably better.
And I'd been much closer, and I don't think Emily Sandé has the songs of Adele. I don't think she's got the discography of sing-alongs and songs that I would listen to in my own accord that Adele
But
has.
I imagine a better production.
But better show.
Yeah, but...
Better production, and her personality, but then the real kicker was the previous summer I saw in the same big hitter in the UK in the mid-noughties balladeer, singer-songwriter ilk.
Gwen Stefani.
Sam Smith. I saw Sam Smith on their first gig back since vocal surgery in Thetford Forest, an hour's drive from my house. And I was like, by the end, I was like third row. And I don't, especially now, I'm not a huge Sam Smith fan. I don't really listen to them often, but this concert, I do not know how or why or what, but I just sobbed the entire concert for an hour and a half. And I am not someone who... Sam Smith probably wouldn't even make my top 100 artists ever. But something about that night and the way they performed absolutely took hold of my eyes and squeezed them dry. I do not know why, but it, and like there were all these like mums around me like, oh, you're right, oh, you having a hard time of it. I was like, no, I'm absolutely fine, but there's something about this that's really got me. So I'd love to see them again, because even though I haven't kept up with their music or listened to the new songs, and I didn't really like the second album, I'd love to see Sam Smith again, because I don't think any performer of any kind has struck me like that. And I think best of all, I was not expecting it at all.
Okay.
So I think Adele was very much in the shadow of, I paid 25 quid to see Sam Smith. I paid 108 quid to see Adele.
That's a really good deal for Sam Smith.
Yeah. And the album was out a year. They'd won the Grammy. Off we go.
Mad.
Yeah.
Mad. I've not seen I've not seen Sam Smith, but I've seen Disclosure and Rudimental, so I've basically seen Sam Smith.
I've seen Rudimental. I hated them.
Rudimental.
Because
Disclosure, I'd see.
They were awful.
Again, 100%.
Well, Disclosure were part of like a perfect afternoon of music for me, but they were like this just slab of shit amongst the gold. So it was like Chic.
Oh.
Then, I mean, I've seen Chic 4 times. Fucking, I wish I could see Chic every year. And I feel like they'd give me the positivity to then carry through to the next year. Mariah Carey said in her book that she measures her life from Christmas to Christmas. I measure my life from Chic concert to Chic.
Chic, the famous Lady Gaga.
Heaven, I'm in heaven. And so it was Chic, then Rudimental, then Lily Allen, then Paolo Nutini, then The Killers. That, to me, excluding Rudimental, is a dream day.
Where was this?
Of sing-alongs. The festival.
Oh, that's a shame.
Isn't it?
I thought no.
Get this for a gag. Aidan, get this for a gag. A bunch of my friends went to see Ed Sheeran. Meanwhile, me and my friend Emma, who did we go and see that clashed with Ed Sheeran? Fucking Blondie.
Yeah, exactly. Girly has a lyric which is, I wanna be a modern day Debbie fucking Harry. And I'm like, that's a girl who gets what's up.
My greatest friend in the whole entire world, and if they're listening they will know exactly who they are, said they don't want to see Blondie unless Debbie Harry can do a high kick. And I was like, well, you're not going to see them. Because trust me, she's senile. Like, her stage chat was very, very out there. But, and like she was talking about, she could see this roller coaster in the distance, or the fairground of the festival. And she was like, I want to go on that one. And I was like, no, no, you can't. She was wearing I was front row. She was wearing a red jumpsuit. And she opened with One Way or Another. The crunch of the guitar. I'll never forget the fact that all the band were on before her. Like, the song had pretty much started. It was going, it was happening. And then she just wandered in. One way or another. And she ended, get fucking this, with a cover of, it was a mashup cover, Beastie Boys, Fight for Your Right to Party, and Delight, Groove is in the Heart.
Ooh.
It was sensational. The atmosphere of that, the atmosphere of like, Debbie Harry is here. We have made the executive decision to skip Ed Sheeran to witness a legend It was the right crowd. It was the right cut of the crowd in the bigger sense. I will never forget it. It's so liberating when you don't go and see it shouldn't be like this, but you feel kind of cool when you leave the big act.
I also didn't see one year. I think the headliners were probably Queens of the Stone Age, who I'd already seen in like a secret set a few years before, and I was like, I don't know, like I don't think I vibed with them that much to watch a whole headline act. And instead I went to see Haim and had a lovely time.
Oh, I've seen Haim before.
My Song 5 by Haim is not the version with the rap feature. Oh, goodness, no. My Song 5 is such... yeah.
That album is such a... I see myself walking... So, from my sixth form, I had to do like a half-hour walk to get to my bus to then go home. And I can't not picture the half-hour walk was a half-hour long street. It was a street and it was a straight line. And I can't not picture that street when I hear anything about Days Are Gone by Haim. It's so... And I think because it was such a direct, like, route. Like, I just... Yeah, it really does take me to that very specific place and time. Okay, I've got a question for you. If not the Kim Petras song for the lip sync challenge on Dragula, what song would you pick as a producer?
I mean, I love a Monster Mash, and I think it would be quite funny. It'd be quite funny for them to do the Monster Mash in some respects. Is that, like...
Yeah, it would be funny.
But
I'd like that.
Gorilla's Dare, I think, would be cool, or something from the Demon Days.
I'd rather Dare was saved for When I'm a Fashion Designer.
When I'm a Fashion Designer.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have anything to take for tea because I had a big slap up Nando's today, but... Slap up Nando's. I had a big Nando's. But... I did sneak myself a little billionaire's shortbread.
A billionaire shortbread?
Do you know what makes it
What? What's in a billion? A bit of marshmallow or something?
No, the difference between a billionaire's and a millionaire's shortbread is, for it to be a billionaire's shortbread, you have to exploit the people who made it before eating it.
I almost hit a whistle note with that. That... Joke of the season.
Thank you.
Snuck in at the end.
Ariana Grande would be very proud of that whistle note you just conjured up, Freddie.
Oh my god. Excuse me, the skinny legend would be proud. It's such a good show. It's such a good show. I want everyone to watch it.
What's a good show?
Dragula.
Thank you, that's what I was looking for.
I do, and I feel like not enough people do, and I know personally this whole pool of people that would fucking live for it.
And also I think it's accessible to people who aren't very into drag, because I think the horror aspect is like so cool, and like even if you're into like fashion or design, it really, I think in some respects it ticks not more boxes than Drag Race, but it ticks different boxes that Drag Race would never tick.
Totally true. Dragula is refreshing, and for you guys who were overfed with Drag Race, that are waiting, that are just sitting like overfed and sludge on the floor, this is the thing that is going to scratch the itch that Drag Race did, but is going to be new and bring you back to life.
The physical acting you did in the last 30 seconds were really an example of perhaps why season 2 of Fake Friends Real TV should be televised.
And with that, you came for Dragula, but you stayed for Dragula. I call that a success. I can go to sleep happy tonight. Right, just disconnect. I'm going to put a pillow back. Oh, Trini. Susanna. I wasn't expecting you in my bed. We've come to sort out your wardrobe. Yes, you can't go running around town looking like that any longer, Freddie. But first, we're going to sort out you. No! No! Tell me! Trini, your claws! I'm going to scratch out your eyes and kill you, and no one will hear you scream. Trini! Go on, see if you can hit that whistle note again, Freddie. That may be so, Freddie, but they're not part of the brand new you that will be here when we're done with you. Do, do, do.